Taradan, 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 taradan. Zakir, I am Allah. Praise be to Allah. You are calling me something? Me, myself? Hello everyone, and peace of Christ to all of you. Please invite your friends. And today our topic is about science. And you know, science is a very well-known games. The Muslims, they play always in order to convince us that their God, He is the God of science. Actually, for sure, Allah is the God of science. I mean, one of the reasons convince me that Allah is a true God is His science. So today we are going to see how scientifically the Islamic science. You see, the Muhammadan, they might agree that there's like thousands of mistakes of science in the Quran. But let us see if they can find one of them. I mean, is not a mistake. Can you find one thing your God, Allah, He said is not mistake in the Quran? As long you know, Muslims have thousands of videos, if not millions, about scientific miracle in the Quran. How truthful those videos. What is the purpose of them? The purpose is, let us fool those people who do not know Arabic and fabricate a new meaning so we can make them believe that this is a true God speaking about things nobody knows. But this lie cannot live for long, because we have all the tools to expose it. Hello?
Hello, Christian Prince.
Yes, my friend.
Hello. This is Joseph Colden, Christian, and I left Islam. I converted to Islam. I have a YouTube channel. Finally got to speak to you. I've watched some of your content for a long time, and thank you to your work and others like David Wood. I did the research for myself, what you say in the Hadith. Although you have an advantage, you speak full Arabic to me, than me. It was absolutely fantastic, and I left Islam. I embraced the Lord Jesus Christ, and I pray that other Muslims listen to what you would say and absolutely believe it as well, and look it up in their own books. I owned the Hadith as well, so I just wanted to give you a quick call and encourage you and say God bless you for what you do.
Thank you. Tell me a little bit, as long now Muslims calling. I mean, why you decide to leave Islam? What happened?
So, I think it was many things. I started to realize that when I was in the masjid and conversations after the khutbah or whatever it was that day were happening about Muhammad, they would read from a series of hadith, and I found these hadith very disturbing because I had converted to Islam. I had not grown up in the religion, and I found that often when Muhammad is portrayed in many of the hadiths, I found that I wouldn't do half of the stuff that he did myself. You know, the marriage to Aisha was disturbing, but by no means was that the most disturbing thing. Some of the gross things as well, like Aisha washing stains off Muhammad's clothes, and you know, just some of the weird stuff. I started to think, wow, the violence in Islam, and how at the time, this is just, I converted 14 years ago, say, before the Islamic State and the Levant and all of that rose up.
How old you were when you converted to Islam?
18. I was 18.
That's what happened. They target young ones. They fool them.
Yeah.
But can you start from the beginning, as long as we don't have any Abdul to challenge us? Can you tell me how they converted you to Islam?
Yeah. So I had met someone I worked with who was a surgeon, and I worked in the tools and instruments that provided instruments for surgery. And I began a friendship, and he had started to talk about Muhammad, and I'd been to university and, you know, I knew a tiny bit about Islam, but not that much. And he had told me how Muhammad was foretold in the Bible, and he would give me verses like Deuteronomy 18, the very Zakir Naik type argument. But at the time, it was, I didn't know my Bible extremely well, so it was enough to start to get me to think about it. He invited me to the mosque, and he really ramped up the efforts, him and other Muslims at the time. And I was looking for something in my life. You've got to understand, people who convert to Islam are looking for something in all the wrong places. I had an extremely bad relationship. I hated women in effect. And I saw that in Islam, the brothers would say in the masjid, oh, you know, in Islam, we can have 4 wives, and that's not why I converted, but it was definitely this, what's the word, the overriding factor that in Islam, men are dominant and women are meek and mild, and they serve men. You know, it was kind of, I was lulled into it, and I really fell for it, to see that Islam had this pure book in Arabic that had never been tampered with, never been changed. It was a whole host of stories and things that they did that got me thinking, wow, you know, everyone's a brother, everyone's an Aki, you're a brother in their deen, in the deen together. You stand in line together and pray. You know, there's no king, the king has to stand in line. It's sold as a package, and I really liked that at the time, being 18 years old and thinking probably with the different parts of myself. And Muhammad sounded great. Muhammad sounded like a mercy to mankind.
How he sounded like this? How he sounded like this for you?
They used to give hadith like how Muhammad would feed water to a dog, and even though he's afraid of dogs.
But Muhammad, he ordered to kill the dogs. Guys, imagine, Muhammad, he said, if a woman, she gave water to the dog, she'll go to heaven. But he is the one who ordered to kill the dogs.
Yeah. Yeah. You know the type of hadith that they give to make Muhammad seem almost like an angel. You know, they really change who he is as a person. And what I've grown to believe is that actually they believe it. They believe it, and they make others believe it as well. They don't read Muhammad from what's in the pages of their own books. So I went and I met a Muslim girl, and we were very, very quickly put together to cement her. She was another convert, and you know, I'm English, so she's another English convert. So they put us together thinking that we're going to have white Muslim children. You know, they have this dream, in the UK at least, that they're going to convert everyone to Al-Islam. They're going to convert everyone, and eventually Sharia will be the dominant force, the dominant political force in the country. And they start with winning people's minds and getting them in the faith. That girl now, she wears a niqab. Her mother speaks to me, but she doesn't speak to her own daughter, because her daughter nearly joined ISIS. You know, I know people who I would speak to back in the day before ISIS was a big thing, that have gone to fight for the regime. You know, so you tell me, is Islam peaceful? Well, why is it that everything, quite early on, your salvation is based entirely, the best salvation you can get is to die as a jihad. That's the only way that your sins will be taken care of, you know, is martyrdom. I think I became disillusioned, you know, after so many years, to try and find this Muhammad that just did not exist. He's just not there. You want Muhammad to be like Jesus, and that's what Muslims think. He is like Jesus, but he's absolutely not a speck on his sandal. And I came to say that I know the true and living Christ. You know, it took a long journey to get there, but I just became disillusioned. But the one thing that I'm sure of is Muslims believe what they say about Muhammad, and it's up to people like yourself and others now on YouTube doing this fantastic work to get them to see that it's not true. It's just simply not true, and to stop lying to themselves and see what's in the hadith. You speak Arabic, and I've seen Muslims themselves argue about the way you pronounce something. It's a tiny mispronunciation because they can't argue with what you bring, which is the truth about Muhammad. I learned that early on. I used to read the hadith, and my wife is a born Muslim. We had an Islamic marriage. We were married Islamically and all of that business. And she's born into the religion. And when she used to kind of look at my study notes, she started to see some weird stuff that I had wrote down, saying Muhammad Zainab, the issue of Zainab. He looked at her and he was lustful after her. In fact, I was debating one the other day. What was the guy? Honey, where the honey issue. I forgot it now. He looked at Zainab and thought, oh, she's quite nice. And a verse in the Quran comes down that gives him the justification for having Zainab as his wife. And Muslims will flat out deny that that's the reason that verse is in the Quran. And I always ask, what is the reason for that being in there, so that you know that if you ever get into a situation where you fancy your adopted son's wife, that you know it's halal for you to marry her? That's the only reason that God, in his divine word, gave that verse. He could have said any other thing, like, don't kill each other, don't harm each other, don't rob from people. But he decided to say, don't marry your adopted son's wife if you fancy her.
Actually, like even the tafsir says it clearly that when Muhammad, he went to his own son's house, he flirted with the wife. He flirted with her while she is married in the house of the husband. He went to, look at this filthy man. He been given permission because he is the father to enter into a house because he is the father, correct?
Yeah.
So it is not lawful for a Muslim to enter a house when the husband is not there. Muhammad, what he did, he took advantage. And look at the double standard of this filthy man. He claimed that Allah, he told him it's not right to adopt. So all this time, Allah could not make a verse to say it's not right to adopt until he wanted to have sex with this woman. And how many, and why even, like, you have many wives, why you want to have sex with this woman specifically? Why Allah want to give her to you? Don't you have enough?
The hadith says that she was a beautiful woman.
Exactly.
Sayyad even says, marry her, I'll give it to you. And Muslims will say, see how gentle Muhammad was. He said, keep your wife. Like it's some generous thing to do when he...
No, but here the hypocrisy, because how you say to him, keep your wife, because Allah saying to him, you see, the verse in the Quran say clearly, Allah saying to him, why you say to him, keep your wife, when Allah told you that she is yours? So imagine, instead of Allah rebuking him, saying, shame on you, that you are a hypocrite. In the house of the man, you just flirt with the wife, and now you are saying to him, keep your wife. Which one is you? The one who want her, or the one who is saying keep? So the liar is claiming that nothing happened. And actually, this guy, he never asked to divorce his wife until his wife, she told him that your father was here and he flirted with me. And even the tafsir says فَفَطِنَ Zayd, which means, it's like in Arabic we say فَفَطِنَ, which means like he got it, he got it, like suddenly, oh, bong. This guy, he want my wife. So he went there and he said to him, please allow me to divorce her. And here you notice, a Muslim man, he do not need a permission from the Prophet to divorce his wife, correct?
Correct.
So why he is going to Muhammad asking for permission? Because Muhammad is still his father.
Yeah.
Correct?
Well, absolutely. He knows that Muhammad, when the Prophet of Islam wants something, he's going to get it. and
Exactly.
he's wanting to please his father.
Exactly.
Muhammad caused the divorce. It's there, and the issue that I was talking about with a Muslim the other day is when Muhammad was sleeping with Mary the Copt and in Hafsa's bed. He gave me a hadith that he said, "Oh, this is from Aisha," which said the Quran. I'm sure it's Quran 61 or 60. I've not got the verse off the top of my head. He said. Where it says about pleasing his wife, you seek to please your wife. He gives this hadith where it says, "Oh,
chapter of Tahrim."
I've not got the verse to hand.
Verse number 1.
So he says, "Oh, seek to please your wife." And the hadith that he gave was saying Aisha says it was about honey. I gave many of the hadith and evidence saying it's not about honey. This is about Muhammad sleeping with Mary the Copt in Hafsa's bed.
Exactly.
You know the verse that I'm talking about and the hadith that I'm referencing. Not very well, but I'm trying to think of it off the top of my head.
Yeah, this is in their books. This is what their books saying, not us. We were not there.
Yeah.
The only information we have about Muhammad is what Muslim says about Muhammad. And the second you quote for them what they themselves say about Muhammad, they refuse it.
They pick and choose which ones they want, which is why I
my friend, okay, so you decide to leave Islam by yourself or somebody help you? To understand
I did it by myself.
Okay, good. So what about your wife now? Your wife, you said she is born as a Muslim, and
now she gave her life to the Lord Jesus.
Amen to that.
We both are Christians. It was a long road to kind of seeing the disillusionment with Muhammad and seeing as well that many Muslims are actually sad. They're very, very sad. They have this Islam that's meant to be from heaven and perfect. It's, today your religion has been perfected for you, but really the religion is so far from perfect. It's obliterated the word perfect. It's not. It's horrible. And they're sad. And I used to see this in the mosque, apart from, say, the jihadis that you used to get in the mosque. And every mosque has them, by the way, especially here in the UK, the terrorist sympathizers that want to establish Sharia because, they're a bit crazy like that. You have a lot of people that are disillusioned with Islam and they're leaving in droves. It's weird. In the masjid, you used to try and find out how much the other Muslim believed what they were saying, and it was almost a competition to see who believed what they were saying, and many don't.
My friend,
from the UK,
people asking me, my friend, people asking me for your channel. So if you don't mind, when you finish, if you can post your name, I know you cannot post a link, but you can show us your name in YouTube so people can click and subscribe to your channel. Because there's many they like to subscribe to your channel, maybe, if you don't mind.
I just wanted to, thank you and say your work and what you're doing online is fantastic. I've seen, I just for a joke, me and my wife put on Fadi Responds, and we just sit there and have a chuckle at it because it really is laughable, the fact that they can't deal with any of the real claims. And I used to go to the scholars, Sheikh Ijaz and other sheikhs, and ask them the questions that, I would say find in the books, and I'd say, why is this in the Quran? Why is this there? They had no answers, and in fact, they used to try and change the question that I had asked them, and then say that they'd answered it. And I thought, wow, even the scholars know it, but they just don't want to tell the people it. And they're the gatekeepers. They're the gatekeepers, because a Muslim will say, when he asks questions, he will say to you, go to the scholars, go to the scholars. And you go to the scholars, and the scholars have no answers, and they can't keep people from leaving Islam. Praise God. And I hope we as Christians are willing to have them, because I come to realize how much I needed Jesus, and how much Jesus is the only one that can save. the only one that could ever save. You know, it's my channel is just my name, Joseph, and then Joseph Colden, which is Coldon.
Okay.
You know, so if you check that out.
If you can, just after you finish, just say hello. This is in the chat, and then people, they can click at your name and they can subscribe to your channel. Well, my friend, thank you very much for having you. I'm happy that you left Islam. I'm happy for our sister in Christ, your wife. I pray that the Lord will bless you and bless your family and protect you. And sometime the devil, he think he hunted one of our kids, but our kid, he went there, and now he's hunting the devil. And not only that, he is saving from the house of the devil many, as would happen to your wife. So let us use your experience. So young people at the age of 18, like when you were 18 yourself, they will not be hunted by the trap of the garbage of Muhammad, for this is a trap of the devil. So you need to help them, and you need to use and warn people about how they try to fool you, like they use videos about science, as we are showing, etc. But Islam is far away from science. Islam far away from dignity. Islam far away from peace. Islam far away from anything they claim. Actually, here we go. My Skype is open.
They use the science argument. I'll leave with the fact that they used to give me the books. I've kept every single one of them in my cupboard. I've got all of the books that I was given over the years. I've bought, just so that I can pull them out and say to people, this is what their books say, this is what they've tried to use, and this is how false it is, and how when they say science, the sperm is between this or the world was round and things like that. It's garbage. It is absolute garbage. It's a fraud.
The fact the Quran says clearly the earth is flat. The earth is flat, and Muhammad, he made it clear that the sperm stay alive for 40 nights, 40 days, and I can show it right now. We don't make things up. You see, they make things up, and because they are following the devil. We don't.
Yeah.
Here we go. It's in front of us. He says that you are gathered inside your mother as a semen, for 40 days. As a semen for 40 days. And then another 40 days for the same period as a piece of blood. And then for other, Muslim, do you see it? This is your Muslim translation, but this is not mine. The creation of any one of you is this, that semen is collected in the womb of the mother for 40 nights. So let me introduce myself. I'm a Christian prince, and I was doing a tourist in my mother womb for 40 nights, watching TV and Amazon Prime. Because it was Corona time. I could not get out. What I can do? And I was a semen at that time. 40 nights. I mean, who in the world want to believe in such a garbage? And if you say to them, do you agree with this? You say, no, brother, this is a weak hadith, but this is Sahih. This is Sahih Muslim. So
they've tried it all, and I'll let you continue your live stream, but be encouraged that the work that you're doing is great, and people are seeing the disillusionment with Islam, and they need to look closer at Christ and see the truth that only He is. All right, brother, I'm gonna go.
Okay, thank you, my friend.
God bless.
Take care. Bye bye.
God bless.
Bye bye. This is a great example how your son can be a victim of this cult. This is why you need to let your children learn. Don't just take your knowledge from here and just keep it for yourself. You need to share it with your family, so they will not fool you. This person is a victim of the society, by the way, because the society did not provide him education about this cult. So he go to work, he go to school, he go to street, and then he meet people who they start fooling him, and he don't know. I mean, how I can blame him? Do you remember the story of the 16 years old? He was 15 actually. They smuggled him from Australia. Imagine Australia. Look how powerful they are as a gang, mafia. They smuggled the kid from Australia. He appeared in Syria. A week after he committed suicide, bombing in a car. His father, he noticed that this is his son in TV. Where is the family? Where is the family? How your son end dead? And now you just notice that your son is not there? This poor guy, 16 years old kid, pure kid, I can call him pure. He's a victim of the devil, but he's a victim of his family. His family did not teach him. You see, you have a duty to teach your children. Otherwise, your children can come against you. The devil will use them to fight you, and this is the purpose of this conversion thing. They want to make those children, those English people, they want them to be the enemy of their own country, so they can take over the country by using them. They do not need to import a terrorist from Afghanistan or from Syria or Iraq. No, we will make a local ones here. We convert them, we brainwash them, and you go and carry a knife and say Allahu Akbar. If Muhammad is a prophet, you see when they say to you science, if Muhammad is the one who said that, and he is the one who said that, this is Sahih Muslim, this is very authentic, Muhammad is a fraud. According to Muhammad, the creation of a child, it takes only 120 days. And you are in the mother womb for, actually, it doesn't say womb, by the way, it says bottom. Bottom means in the stomach, or a belly. إن خلق أحدكم يجمع في بطن أمه 40 ليلة. How would that happen? As a sperm. But all of us, we know the sperm never live more maximum 5-6 days. What for the and Muhammad, he's stuck with numbers, by the way. That's it. Ali Baba and the 40 thieves. Muhammad, he's stuck with number which is mentioned in the Bible, 7, 40, 70 times. You know, all those numbers, by the way, is stolen. Jesus says something, Muhammad, he take it, he start repeating it. But he add his own fiction lies. So he lied the number, Jesus said, he will use it. If Jesus says 7, Muhammad will say 7. If Jesus says 40, Muhammad will say 40. If Jesus says 70, Muhammad will say 70. I will show you an example, a clear example of the fraud of Muhammad, additional to the science, which is a joke. A clear evidence that Muhammad is nothing but a fraud. Read carefully. And this is what? This is Sahih al-Bukhari. Muslim cannot say to us it's a lie. They cannot. Sahih al-Bukhari is the most authentic book after the Quran. The second, the women, she said that this is the punch of the grave. Muhammad, he learned from the Jews just today. After that, Muhammad, he never prayed to Allah without saying, I seek refuge by Allah from the punishment of the grave. And since that day, whatever Muhammad is saying, he repeat the same, I seek refuge by Allah from. That's it. A Jewish, if a Jew, she said that, it must be true. And then Muhammad, he learned from the Jews that the punishment of the grave is because of urine. And look what? Exactly, he said the same. The Jews, they say that God, he punish you from urine. If urine touch you, this is what they say to their kids so they can stay clean. Muhammad, the food, he took it, he make it as a teaching of his God. Imagine God will punish you for urine in the grave. Christian Prince, in April 16, 1900, at that time you were 95 years old, and little urine touched your foot, and today I'm going to punish you, torture you for that. And Christian Prince, please Allah, please, it was little urine, please. No. It was a lot of urine. It was a drop of urine. Please, Allah, forgive me. It is just a urine. Yes. There's things I don't like in life. Pepsi Cola, Starbucks, and urine. Please, Allah, I did not go to Starbucks and I did not drink Pepsi Cola. But you did urine. And urine touched your feet. Allah, please forgive me. I will never do it again. I know you will not do it again, you idiot. You are dead now. Okay, Allah, so what we will do now? I'm going to torture you. Get ready. Okay, Allah, how you are going to torture me and I am dead? Hold on. I'm going to call Zakir Naik. Taradan, taradan. Taradan, taradan. Taradan, taradan. Zakir, I am Allah. Be to Allah. You are calling me something? Me, myself? Exactly. A guy, his name is a Christian prince. He did urine. I'm going to torture him, and he got me in the corner. He said, how are you going to torture me? And I am dead. So what I should say to him? First of all, the answer is very simple. I don't give Allah, you do as you wish. Okay, hold on. Let me say that to him. I am Allah, and I do as I will. Allah, but you do as you will, no problem. But nothing left of me. I mean, don't you see? I don't feel anything. Touch me. I feel nothing. Hold on. Zakir, did you hear what he say? No, Allah, I'm not in the phone. What kind of cult and garbage, man? You are in the grave, and now Allah is going to torture you? For what? For urine. May Allah urinate you. This is God. And this is science, by the way. This is science. Pure science. Urine. We seek forgiveness from Allah for the urine we did in our life. Allah will not torture you in the grave for raping women, children, killing, theft. No, He will torture you for urine, brother. This is God. This is God, the God of science. Muhammad Qadir, he said, we reject the hadith, go against the Quran. That is a stupid lie, my friend. Do you reject the hadith about mut'ah? The Quran say you do mut'ah. Actually, all the sunnah is against the Quran. All the abrogated verses in the Quran can be found mostly in the sunnah, not in the Quran. Where we can find the stoning to death? Is it in the Quran? So if you refuse anything against Quran, then you should not follow Muhammad. Follow Quran only, and that will make you not a Muslim. So don't lie to yourself. Don't fool yourself. There is tons of verses, tons in the Quran. You are not allowed to follow them no more. And how we don't follow them? Because we follow the hadith. Muhammad Qadir saying it is evil to say we love our enemy instead of this is because he is following Shaitan. Satan teaching him that. So what we can do? For him, his God is Satan. He told him to hate everybody. Because in Islam, everyone is not a Muslim, is your enemy. If you go in the Quran, you will find it clearly, the Quran saying you cannot even be friend, even with your family members, your mother, your father, your brothers, from your blood, if you are a true Muslim. So, according to Islam, everyone who is not a Muslim is my enemy, including my family. Chapter 58, verse number 22. It says, thou will not find any people who believe in Allah and the last day loving those who resist Allah and His Messenger, even though they are their families and their sons. It doesn't say, by the way, it says their fathers and their brothers and their sons and their tribe. A true Muslim, he should not love anyone, for he is following the devil, and the proof in front of you. So if this Qadir, he call you brother, that's mean he is a fraud. He's not a Muslim. He's a false Muslim. You cannot call them brother. According to the Quran, only Muslims are brothers. Anyway, I think we have enough for today. I pray for the safety of all of us. I pray for the safety of the Muslims, the Christians, the Hindus, the Buddhas. We pray for the safety of all mankind. We pray for every lost soul. God do not need this garbage to prove himself. God, he make miracles. And miracle is miracle. Jesus, he made the blind see. That's it. That is a miracle. Prophets of God, they came with miracles. Not a single one of them says, let us calculate numbers. That is very silly. And miracles is something nobody can do. Not something anyone can do. Can you make the blind see? No, you cannot. Maybe you will make a surgery, but that is not a miracle. One of the funny things the Muslims they say about Jesus do all those amazing miracles, they say in the time of Jesus, the science was advanced. What science was advanced? People, they are dying, and then now there's people, they are blind. A person who is born as a blind is born as a blind. Jesus did not give him medicine. What science was advanced? In the time of Jesus, science was advanced. What about today? Muhammad came 600 years after Jesus. Science was advanced at that time. 600 years after. So it was advanced in the time of Jesus, but it's not advanced 600 years after. So why Muhammad don't have any of the miracles of Jesus? Because simply he's a fraud. When Jesus said to the man who cannot walk, did he give him a medicine? No, he said to him, carry your bed and walk. He did not say, oh, this is a bill, eat from a 3 dime a day, and then you will be fine. The way the Muslim try to explain why the Messiah is amazing in his power is funny and stupid. But they are desperate, bankrupt followers of a bankrupt cult. Nothing of the Messiah he did because he compared to science. And it's not even scientific. You cannot make a blind man see by putting a spit in his eyes. You cannot make a person who cannot walk by just saying to him, go and walk. You cannot heal a woman who is bleeding just by touching your dress. That is not science. That is a miracle. Muhammad, he was able to do nothing. And then you will open the book of the hadith and you will find tons of stories about miracles Muhammad did. But the Quran says clearly Muhammad have 0. We refrain from sending miracle, the Quran says. وَمَا مَنَعَنَا. What? وَمَا مَنَعَنَا. Nothing refrain us from sending miracles except people from the previous generation, they refused to accept them. Chapter 17, verse number 59. Allah refrained from giving miracle to Muhammad, and the excuse, you will not believe it, which is false. Because we Christian, we believe in the miracle of Jesus, and we believe in every single miracle happened by the prophets before Jesus. So that was a clear false excuse. I want to say thank you guys for being here, staying with me all this time. It's not easy to sit all those hours, but I pray to the Lord to open our eyes, to keep us safe, and to forgive us for our sin when we do so, and we repent to Him, and we ask for His forgiveness. Thank you. God bless you. Christ is Lord. Islam is false. No matter how false, try to prove itself to be true. We always prove it wrong. Thank you. God bless.